Hey everyone, welcome back. So a third non-price determinant of demand would be the price of related goods or services. So one class of related goods and services are what we call substitute goods. So goods that could be used interchangeably. So this should be related to the demand of the good or service that we're talking about, such that an increase in the price of a substitute good should increase the demand. So suppose that we're talking about the demand for tea. One possible substitute for tea would be coffee, right? Coffee and tea to some people could be considered substitute goods. And if that were the case, then if we had a drastic increase in the price of coffee, and coffee became less affordable, then some coffee drinkers might switch to tea. So that would show up as an increase in the demand for tea, right? So that's an increase in the quantity of tea demanded, not because of the price of tea itself, but because of the price of something else, right? Something else. In that case, it would be the price of coffee. Now, we'd also expect the opposite case if we had a decrease in the price of a substitute good. Okay, and that would result in a decrease in demand. Okay, so again, if we're talking about the demand for tea, and we said that there was a drastic decrease in the price of coffee relative to tea, then in that case, we might expect some tea drinkers to save some money by switching to drinking coffee. So there'd be a decrease in demand for tea, and that's not because of a change in the price of coffee. That's due to the change in the price, that's not due to the change in the price of tea. It's due to the change in the price of coffee, right? So that's a non-price determinant of demand if we're talking about the demand for tea. Now that's with substitute goods. We also have related goods that are goods that are used together, and those are what we call complement goods. So if there was a say increase in the price of a complement, then that would have the opposite effect of the substitute good. That would be a decrease in demand. Okay, so one classic example would be peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly are usually purchased together, right? So that's what we'd consider complement goods. So, for instance, if we had an increase in the price of jelly, fewer people would be, there'd be a decrease in the quantity demanded of jelly, of course, but also that means that fewer people would be purchasing peanut butter, right? So this increase in the price of jelly would reduce the quantity of peanut butter demanded. Okay, and we also have the opposite case if it's a decrease in the price of a complement. Okay, that would increase demand. Okay, so if the price of jelly decreased, then that means that the quantity demanded of jelly would increase because of the law of demand, and that means that more people would be purchasing peanut butter to go along with this new jelly they're purchasing, right? So we have an increase in the demand for peanut butter. Okay, so that's what we'd say is the price of related goods and services that cause the demand curve for a good or service to shift. All right, we'll talk about a few more in the next video. See you then.